Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Jurassic World review. Today we're taking a look at the new Dino Escape Wild Pack Shringasaurus. Well, last week was certainly interesting in the Jurassic collecting community, to say the least. I voiced my opinion a lot on Instagram and Facebook, so I'm going to take a minute or two now to discuss my feelings in this video about the situation. First off, 100% on board for companies protecting their IPs. But the way Mattel went about it with Collect Jurassic and Andy's Dinosaur reviews was absolute BS. Just absolutely nuking their Instagram and their channels. Thankfully, both of them got it all sorted out. For poor Andy, they just went to the absolute last second with him, between going back and forth with Mattel and then YouTube dragging their feet at the end. I'm just really, really happy that they got their Instagram and their channels back. That would have been a terrible, terrible loss for the collecting community if that actually went through. Now, all of this could have been avoided with just a simple message from Mattel. Hey, could you take that down for X amount of time, blah, blah, blah. Be greatly appreciated, and both of them would have absolutely happily done that. But nope, they just had to go right for the throat, and I have to say, the collecting community, bravo, good job. It was so great seeing everyone unite and just voice their opinion and get these two channels restored. It really made me feel good inside, and I know Tim and Andy really, really appreciate it. It was really great to see. Now that all of that is behind us, Mattel is a big corporation. I'm going to quote a couple things I heard from Retro Blast. A lot of big YouTubers did videos on this, which was also fantastic. Can't believe the Game and Beaver did one. That was absolutely great. So, a couple quotes from Retro Blast. You got to remember, everyone, these companies aren't our friend. They like to think that they feed us, but in reality, we feed them. We buy the products. We're the ones that keep them in business. So when they do something wrong, absolutely, we have to let them know about it. So bravo, everyone. And cheers, everyone that voiced their opinion about this situation and supported Tim and Andy all last week. Congratulations. Our voices were heard and Mattel listened. So cheers. So getting back to this review, this Shringasaurus has been an absolute nightmare for me to track down. And speaking of Andy's Dinosaur reviews, he was kind enough to track this down at a Walmart for me and send it to me while all that crap was going on with him last week. So Andy, you're a good dude. I always love talking back and forth with you. And thank you for hooking me up with this figure. Something about these non-dinosaur figures, they're just so hard to come by. I just don't know what the stigma is about them. They're just, I've been going back and forth to Walmart. I even checked Macy's a bunch of times because this was showing up there. Could never find this thing, and I know this wave never made it to my area. I've never seen a single figure on the shelf from this wave, so I am finally happy to cross this figure off the list. So let's go over the package really quick before we crack this figure open. Comes in the Dino Escape Wild Pack style packaging. You got blue back here behind the tail, Jurassic World logo up there, smashed paddock fence in the background. Turn it around, you get a picture of the other figures in this wave. We got the repaint of the Rhamphorhynchus, the Shringasaurus, Mononychus, and Velociraptor. The Shringasaurus was the only figure I was interested in this wave, so this will probably be the only one you see me reviewing from this Dino Escape Wild Pack wave. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack this figure open and take a closer look. So let's start with this 360-degree view of the Shringasaurus. I have some mixed feelings about this figure. On one hand, it's a really good toy. It's nicely sculpted. It has, decent articulation. The paint apps are nicely done. Look, it has a nice cohesive pattern, unlike some figures in the line where it looks like, someone painted it in the dark blindly with just random paint colors. So nicely applied, well thought out pattern. But as far as it being a Shringasaurus, they missed the mark. So what is a Shringasaurus? It is a Triassic reptile. It's a type of Allocodosaur, and it's a herbivore. But look at the teeth Mattel gave it. Those are carnivore teeth, and it's actually listed as a carnivore in the Jurassic World Facts app. So I have no clue what they're thinking. Maybe because they think people don't like herbivores are not really scary, even though in real life, big herbivores like hippos and elephants are absolutely terrifying. So yeah, kind of weird that they did that, but I also kind of like it. Reminds me of like the demon dogs from Ghostbusters. So I kind of have that little nostalgic vibe coming from it, but just still have no idea why they gave this thing carnivore teeth when it was a herbivore in real life. So yeah, really odd choice from Mattel. Seems like they've been making some odd choices lately. And let's just do a couple quick measurements. This figure is 7.5 inches long from the tip of the tail to the tip of the snout, and about 3.5 inches tall to the top of the horn. So Shringasaurus in real life was just under 10 feet long to 13 feet long. So with those measurements, I'll put the figure somewhere in the 115 to the 120 scale range. So it does scale with pretty much most of the figures in the line. All right, let's zoom in and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure, starting with the head. This is where I have issues with this figure. You know, the sculpting and detail is great. You know, you got a lot of nice fine scale details, some large scales around the lip. But look at the head. It is just a generic T-Rex head with horns on it, and it's just totally wrong for this species. Like, if you want like an accurate representation of Shringasaurus, go pick up the Safari one. That's, you know, kind of what the animal looked like in real life. So yeah, Mattel went a little overboard with this one, just given that T-Rex head with the horns looks odd. But like I said, you know, the paint apps and the detail are really nice on here. So let's take a look at those sharp teeth for no reason whatsoever. They are painted in off-white color. The eye is painted orange with a black pupil. They actually painted the pupil on here, which, you know, one of the things I've been complaining about the line, they do just paint the iris and leave the pupil blank, and the base plastic underneath would be the pupil color. So at least they painted the eye. Lower jaw is cast in white plastic. The gums are painted red. Same thing inside the mouth. You can see the tongue is painted. Roof of the mouth is that base yellow plastic. The horns are nicely sculpted and painted with a bone white color. And here it is from the front, and you are definitely getting those demon dog vibes from Ghostbusters looking at this thing head on. And looking at the underside, you can see a little bit of white paint on the throat, going down to the neck. A lot of really fine scale detail. You know, it kind of reminds me of, like, you know, a monitor lizard. You have all these nice folds and wrinkles in this really fine scale details all over the body. I'm like, seriously, look at that. It is a beautifully sculpted figure. The color matching on the plastic is a little bit off. The plastic on the neck and legs and tail are slightly brighter yellow than the main body. It's because they use two different types of plastic. So up close like this, it looks really off. From a distance, you can't really notice, but once you have it in hand, it is a little bit off-putting, but that's just due to the type of plastic. And you can see it has, you know, all those little specks mixed in for more definition. The pattern, like I said, is really nicely applied. It's a nice cohesive looking pattern. It's all done in dark brown paint, very reminiscent the color scheme of the old Dual Attack Suchomimus with that yellow and brown. And then looking at from the top, you can see a large row of scales starting right at the base of the horns, going all the way down the back to the very tip of the tail. Looking at the front arms, very muscular, a lot of nice muscle definition. You see all that fine scale detail. Toe claws are not painted in. Same thing on the front feet and back feet. And turn the figure over. Here is the scan code for those who want to scan it into the fax app. On the underside, you can see more fine belly scales. So yeah, like I said, the detail on here is really good. I gotta say, you know, Mattel's been really hit or miss in the paint app department, but their sculpting and detailing has gotten better with each series of figures. You know, some of the Dominion figures have been officially revealed, and the detailing looks really good in those figures, even though, you know, the paint apps are kind of still up and down across the line, but the paint apps do look better as a whole compared to Dino Escape. And then going down to the tail, some more of those nice folds and wrinkles. Like I said, has a very modern-like appearance with the details on the body. So yeah, so, you know, sculpt-wise and paint-wise, cool-looking figure. Weird generic T-Rex head, me don't like. Now for articulation, the mouth can close completely flush, and it can open up about that far. The neck joint is on a hinge and a swivel, which is pretty unique. I think the only other attack pack that has a neck joint similar to that is the Zuni Ceratops. So it can look up, it can look down, it can look rotate 360 degrees. I wish there was like a hinge in there for it to swing side to side, but I will take that extra articulation. For some reason, my camera is just being a pain in the butt today. It does not want to focus in on this figure. So going down to the legs, back legs can move backwards, they can move forwards, hind legs can move backwards, they can do 360 degrees, kind of. No, not really. It bumps into the elbow. You're going to have to, you know, bend the foot a little bit. And the tail has that absolutely useless rotation. Like I said, all these figures should have a hinge joint to allow the tails to swing side to side. So that's it for articulation. Let's move on to comparisons. And first up here is one of the human figures. Here it is with Dr. Alan Grant, and I just have to say, oh, that Dominion trailer, that just hit all the right buttons for me. I am so excited for that movie. The framing and the cinematography look absolutely beautiful. The CGI looks like a vast improvement from the last couple of movies, and it's so great seeing the legacy characters unite for this film. Oh, the movie falls on my wedding anniversary, and, I got bad news for my wife. That's what we're doing. And next up, here it is with the other non-dinosaur Mattel figures, the Postosuchus, the Scutosaurus, and the Dimetrodon. Let's get him all fixed up so he can stand. So yeah, like I said, don't know what is up with all these non-dinosaur figures being extremely hard for collectors to get their hands on. Still haven't got my hands on the Fierce Force Tandy Strophius. If anyone finds one, seriously, let me know. My email's always down in the description of every video. I will gladly pay you, to ship it to me. It's like the last figure I need from Dinoscape, and I'm just so sick and tired of going to Target every day. And next up, here it is with the Roar Attack Kentrosaurus. And let's do another Roar Attack. Here it is with the Aranosaurus. And next up, here it is with the Danger Pack Scorpius Rex. And let's do it with my favorite figure from Dinoscape. Here it is with the Mega Destroyer Pentaceratops that was clearly repainted by the repaint wizard Ted Brothers over at the Jurassic Park compound. And lastly, here it is with the Legacy Collection T-Rex. So, final thoughts on this Shringasaurus. I really appreciate Mattel giving us these very obscure species in the line, but the execution of this thing was just not that great. The sculpting and detail is really nice. Just I love all the folds and wrinkles and that finely sculpted scale detail. But this is a known herbivore reptile, and they made it a carnivore and just gave it a generic T-Rex head with horns, and F+ for that, Mattel. Just really weird design choice on here. But I like the neck articulation. That's always nice to see, better articulation on these figures, even though all of them don't share it. I just love to see that neck joint applied to more figures going in the future, especially with the Fierce Force and Wild Pack figures. So, like I said, beginning of this review, Andy's Dinosaur Review sent me this figure. It's popping up at Walmart, and I don't know if they popped up at Target yet, and they've been showing up at Macy's and Kroger's. On Amazon, they're still up there for scalper prices, and seriously, with all the gas money that I spent trying to find this thing, I probably should have bought one, but Andy's a cool dude and hooked me up with this, so I'm really grateful for that. So that will do it for the review. I have a bunch of new stuff that is coming in this week. I got some stuff from Namu, GR Toys, PNSO, so expect a bunch of new reviews in the next week or so. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.